Most people think about franchising, they think about restaurant franchises. And then when they think about restaurant franchises, one name comes to mind: McDonald's. Really, the Golden Arches are the quintessential proof of concept when it comes to restaurants and franchising. But if you're looking to buy into a franchise system, are you looking for a famous logo, or are you actually looking for a good, solid investment? In the next few minutes, I'm going to be pulling back the curtain on the actual cost of playing the McDonald's game in 2026. I'm going to show you why franchises like it are not actually the safest bet now, and they actually might keep you in debt the longest. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a specific category that is pulling historical McDonald's level returns at a fraction of the cost. If you're about to drop 7 figures on a franchise, stop and watch this first. Now, if we're looking at a very established franchise like McDonald's, let's talk about the numbers and what it actually takes to open the doors. Corporate won't even look at you unless you have $500,000 liquid capital. And the total investment overall is between 1.4 to 2.7 million all in. Now, there's other things as well that you might not be thinking are there, but they're there. And that is that most people don't realize it, but McDonald's is actually a real estate company. Same with Chick-fil-A and same with many of these franchises. Because you're also just not going to be paying royalties and a franchise fee and everything else, you are going to be paying rent to them. And this rent can be as high as 31% of your gross sales. Let's just take a moment to think about how wild that is. One franchise I work with, it's a food concept that does very well. They're looking at a rent between 5 to 7% of top line. So paying as much as 31% of your top line sales to your franchisor, crazy. Now you have your standard fee that is the royalty you pay to the franchisor. It's a little bit lower than the ones that are more modern, but it's 4%. Oftentimes I'll be on conversations with people where they say, oh, well, look at this one franchise, it's 4% royalty fee. That's better than the 6% of this other concept. But you got to ask yourself, what are you even getting for the 4%? Most of the time with people that own franchises where it's 4%, their answer is nothing. With people that pay 6 to 7%, it is oftentimes, more often than not, from a good franchise, a lot of support, coaching, systems, and continued development of the brand to ensure you're successful. And then now on top of all of this, with something like McDonald's, labor costs. You really want to target between your labor costs, payroll taxes, and everything else, along with your COGS, cost of goods sold, to be around 50 to 55% of your top line. But if you're running a 24-hour store like McDonald's, you might think, well, I'm going to get more business. No, that's just going to be more payroll. And then that results, at best, your net margin to be somewhere around 10 to 15%. Now let's look at the alternative. While McDonald's is fighting in an oversaturated market where the best corners and locations are already taken, other brands are entering their prime growth phases right now. They're really McDonald's, but where McDonald's was back in 1985. You see, with these brands, you're looking at a buy-in of somewhere around $300,000 to $500,000 as opposed to $2 million. And then with the average unit performance, the AUV, sure, McDonald's does about 3.9 million in sales on average, but for a massive footprint and on average, as much as 50 employees. Contrast that with other concepts where your average employee count is around 5 to 7. Now, let's talk about the territory trap. This is really where FOMO should really kick in. There really are not many good locations left out there for more established brands like McDonald's. Most of all the good ones, not all, but most of them have already been taken. This goes back to the saturated market. Therefore, if you're able to get a territory, it is probably either a territory which is not going to produce the same returning as the average, or maybe you're going to buy an existing store that's in an area that's actually on the decline. But with rising franchise brands that are just now hitting their prime phase, prime markets are definitely available. And the biggest success stories are yet to come with those brands. Look, McDonald's isn't going anywhere. It's a great company. But for the individual investor looking to build real wealth today, you have to ask yourself, do I want to enter a crowded 14,000 person room of this franchise? Or do I want to be store number 31 with a brand that's about to explode nationwide. The McDonald's era in the 1990s made a lot of people millionaires, but the health casual era is making the next generation. I've linked below a report comparing some established franchise brands with some up-and-coming brands so you can make a side-by-side comparison about which one is the one you want to invest in. Click on that link below and I'll send it right to you.